Welcome to this week's Friday show. I'm Chase with World News. Scientists have recently discovered that Sun Dune, the world's biggest cave, is even larger than they originally thought. Last month, 3 British divers traveled to central Vietnam to explore the cave's waterways. During their adventurous dive, they discovered a new underwater tunnel connecting Sun Dune to another broad cave called Hang Thun. Before this discovery, Sun Dune measured a total of 38.5 million cubic meters. Now, Hang Thun will give it another 1.6 cubic meters in volume. That's a big cave. A man was taken into custody on Monday after climbing all the way to the top of the Eiffel Tower. An Eiffel Tower spokeswoman said the man entered the tower normally and started to climb once he reached the second floor. The first 2 floors can be accessed by stairs, but to get any higher than that, the visitors need to take a lift. They caught the unidentified man on video, and the footage showed him close to the observation deck at the top of the tower. His reason for climbing the 1,000-foot tower was unclear, maybe just because it was there. Danny?
Thanks, Chase. 400 college seniors from Morehouse College in Atlanta were surprised to hear that their student loans were going to be paid off. Commencement speaker and billionaire Robert Smith donated at least $10 million to help these graduates. BBC News recorded Smith saying, "On behalf of the 8 generations of my family that have been in this country, we're going to put a little fuel in your bus." It's definitely safe to say that the graduates appreciated it, as many of them could be seen celebrating with tears in their eyes. In other news, lawmakers in Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi, Missouri, Ohio, and Utah have passed new anti-abortion bills aimed at punishing women who get abortions. Other states with similar measures are waiting on the inevitable court challenges before the proceedings with their own bills. These bills bring light to the question of whether a woman who has an abortion should be punished. These bills are so controversial that the protests and riots that have been broken out in major cities. We'll hear more from Abby with state news about a specific protest that occurred here in Michigan after this.
Are you looking to add value to your home or business? Barrett Construction specializes in home and business remodeling improvements of all kinds, from deck, siding projects to bathroom, bedroom, cabinets, and kitchen remodeling. Pat Barrett and his Barrett Construction team does it all. Need help turning your attic or basement into a family living space? Barrett Construction can do the job. To add curb appeal to your home or business, make the right choice and call Barrett Construction.
Anti-abortion laws have been sweeping the country, with Alabama passing the most restrictive pieces of legislation just last week. The most controversial aspect of the new law is that they prohibit abortion even in the case of rape or incest. Michigan has not yet passed a law, and Governor Whitmer has said if such law hits her desk, they will be met with a veto. Many people in cities across Michigan are protesting, chanting, "My body, my choice." At a recent protest held in Saginaw, people showed support for abortion rights. Brianna Scott, the protest organizer, has stated, "Feels like modern-day oppression and sexism. You can't tell us what to do with our bodies." She wants the public to be educated on the severity of having the people's rights taken away. In other news, veterans are taking the bee extinction into their own hands. In Ypsilanti, veterans are helping out at Ford Motor Company Cherry Hills Farm to keep the bees safe. A spokesman from the farm said, "Keeping bees in a calm state is a really important part about what we do. Protection of the bees is important because they pollinate our entire food supply and because their population has been threatened due to overuse of insecticides." The Michigan State University Cooperative Extension is offering workshops across the state for veterans, teaching them the bee basics. The Heroes to Hive initiative kicked off in 2015 with the mission to help save bees and to help veterans cope with PTSD. Libby?
The Genesee County Drug Court received a financial shot in the arm Monday. Genesee County Judge Mark Lachana announced that the Genesee County Drug Court was selected out of 48 other county courts to receive a $2 million grant. The Genesee County Adult Felony Drug Court uses this money to help people battling addiction by placing addicts into drug treatment programs. Nobody wants to live on the worst road in the city, but for residents on Genesee Street in Montrose, that's what they've dealt with until now. Governor Gretchen Whitmer and State Representative Cheryl Kennedy announced a $250,000 grant from the Community Service Infrastructure Fund that will help pay for the reconstruction of Genesee Street. The residents on Genesee Street will certainly be very pleased. After the break, we'll hear from Joe with sports.
Welcome back. I'm Joe Wade with sports. Starting with high school sports, the ladies Rams soccer team was able to pull off a win against Durand on Monday with a final of 6-0. The very next day, they were able to capture yet another win with an 8-0 victory over Mount Morris. Montrose baseball is finally starting to have some games after many were canceled due to weather. On Monday, they mercied Genesee Christian twice in a doubleheader. Yesterday, they took on the Bentley Bulldogs and beat them twice, with a score of 15-0 the first game and 18-1 the second game. Montrose Track and Field competed in the MMAC League meet this past Tuesday. They tied for fourth with Chesaning out of the 8 participating teams. The Rams were able to achieve first team all-league in the long jump, 200-meter dash, and the 800-meter run. In the world of collegiate sports, Juwan Howard, former Michigan Fab 5 star, is on course to replace former Wolverines basketball coach John Byland after he announced his retirement. Many people are excited to see what he can bring to the table for the Wolverines, but some view this replacement as a major risk to Michigan. Finally, on Wednesday, the Detroit Tigers fell to the Miami Marlins with a final score of 6-3. Yesterday, they took on another hard loss from the Marlins with a score of 5-2. They'll look to come back with a win against New York Mets today at 7:10. And that'll do it for this week's MDM-TV.com Friday show. Until next fall, for everyone involved, thank you for tuning in, and so long.